What's up, guys? It's Me Boxing, and today I'm going to be listing the top 10 heavyweight prospects in my opinion. And I know I made a video on this a couple months back in February. I made a top 5 heavyweight prospects video. Now this is the top 10. And first of all, starting out at number 10, I know it's a little tough because there's other guys like Demsey McKean, Evgeny Romanov, and I guess if you want to put Zhilei Zhang in there, even though he's 37 years old. But I put Magomedrasul Majidov, although he's only 2-0. He fought in the Joshua Ruiz 2 undercard, and he looked great, knocking out Tom Little, and I believe the second round. And he also beat Anthony Joshua in the amateurs. Even though he's about, I believe, like 34 years old, he looks great, and he better get a start off in his career, being that he's only 2-0 at 35 years old. But I definitely think he could be a threat to any top heavyweight, but he just has to get a couple more wins before challenging for a world title. And moving on to number 9, I have the Kazakhstanian Olympian Ivan Daichko at 9-0 with 9 KOs. As I said before, fighting out of Kazakhstan, that country has built up so many great fighters. They're from that former Soviet area where they have Majidov, Daichko, they have Triple G, Akhmadjev, they have all those guys, great fighters. But Daichko has a win versus Ray Austin. He is 6 feet 9 inches tall, very powerful, and I'm very excited to see where he could go with his career. And at number 8, I have Efe Ajagba coming off a win against Jonathan Rice last week. He is 14-0 with 11 wins by knockout, former Olympian, fighting out of Nigeria. Started late in boxing at age 18, now age 26. He has a couple of decent wins over Razvan Kajanu. He beat Ayago Kaladzidi, although he did get dropped in that fight. And he also has some good wins over Amir Mansour and other opponents. But I'm not too sure about Ajagba. He does look a little too stiff, and he doesn't have great defense, but the power is definitely there. Very powerful fighter, in my opinion. And moving on at number 7, another top-ranked heavyweight prospect, Jared Big Baby Anderson, 6-0 with 6 wins by knockout. He's coming off a win over Hernandez, I believe last week, won via knockout. Most guys can't knock out Hernandez. Even though Hernandez was 13-9 going into that fight, he only had 2 KO stoppages. And he did look very good. He looked very poised, jabbing very well, very good right hand. And he could definitely be a threat in the next coming years, even though he's only 20 years old. And moving on to number 6, I have Arslanbek Makhmudov. He is 10-0 with 10 wins by knockout, fighting out of Russia. And I gotta say, he has some decent wins. He has a win over Sam Peter, first round knockout, win over Jason Bergman by first round knockout as well. And he is currently the USBF heavyweight champion. But one thing here, he is about, I believe, in his mid-30s, which is a little concerning since he hasn't really picked up the pace and he hasn't fought in almost a year. But a win versus Sam Peter is definitely a very good win, definitely his best win on his resume, and I think he's a very powerful fighter. Fights a little like a taller Alexander Povetkin, and he looks great. And moving on to number 5, I have Frank Sanchez fighting out of Cuba, 15-0, 11 wins by knockout. Some people are a little controversial on this guy, being that they think he looks much older, saying that the Cuban fighters fake their age, like Luis Ortiz specifically. But I think he looks great. He, as I said before, undefeated, coming off a very good win, landslide decision win over Joey DeWayko, winning every single round. And he also has KO wins over Olympian Victor Bisbal and another knockout win over Jason Bergman. And he also has a wide unanimous decision win over Jack Malawai. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him fight soon. I love his style. He has a very good boxing style ever since joining the Canelo team with Eddie Reynoso, and he looks great. And moving on to number 4, I have Filip Hrgovic, 10-0, 8 wins by knockout. He arguably has one of the best wins out of all these guys' resume. He has a win over Eric Molina, knocking him out, and I believe it was the 3rd round or the 4th round on the Joshua vs. Ruiz 2 undercard. He looked great. He hit Hrgovic so much with that right hand, dropping him twice, I believe so, and that was it. And he also has a win versus Mario Heredia and a first-round knockout win, very impressive, over Gregory Corbin. And moving on, At number 3, I know it's a little controversial here between Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce, but just looking at their resumes and their amateur accolades, Daniel Dubois doesn't have an Olympic medal, didn't even go to the Olympics. Although they both had good amateur records, I think Joyce has the better resume personally, even though Dubois has 15-0, 14 knockouts. Came off a win a couple weeks ago over Ricardo Schneiders by second-round knockout. But just looking at his resume, he hasn't really fought anybody too great besides Nathan Gorman, who is 16-0, and that's really it on his resume. He's fought guys with great records, guys who were undefeated, but they weren't good at all. They were fighting guys who were like 0-10 and all that, but I definitely think when he fights Joe Joyce, it'll be a war, and I'm not sure who wins that one. But at number 2, I have the undefeated Joe Joyce, 11-0, 9 wins by knockout, coming off a win over Michael Walisch in July. And he arguably has one of the best wins on his resume as well over Bryant Jennings. He's the former WBA Gold Heavyweight Champion, got stripped of that title recently. And his fight versus Bryant Jennings, he did get hurt to the body once in that fight, but that was really it. He kind of took control of the whole fight. And he also has some great wins over Alexander Ustinov by KO, Iago Kilazity, and Bermane Stiverne. And moving on at number 1, I know it's a little controversial here, but I have Tony Yoka. I mean, in his last fight, he looked excellent, and that's why I'm tempted to put him at number 1. I believe in my last ranking video, I didn't even have him in the top 5, because at the time his best win was against David Allen. But now he just knocked out Johann Duhaupas in the round, unlike nobody has ever done. He made Duhaupas look like a bum, and Duhaupas not a bum. Duhaupas a decent fighter, who's known for durability and who has really never been knocked down. I mean, that's an excellent win for him. He also has wins over David Allen, as I said before, Michael Walisch, and a lot of other guys. And he has a win over Alexander Dimitrenko, which is a very good win on his resume. And he looks great. He's 6'7". He's an Olympic gold medalist. He won in Rio 2016 over Joe Joyce being the silver medalist. But both of them are great fighters, I gotta say. And Tony Yoka, what's next for him? I'm thinking possibly a fight versus Bryant Jennings. He should do next, or versus Gerald Washington, which might not happen, but that's like the style of opponent they should get. I mean, I think Duhaupas is better than Bryant Jennings and Gerald Washington, so I think it's a very impressive win there. And I believe he is ranked number 19 by BoxRec. Joyce being number 16. But I just think Tony Yoka's he's way younger, obviously, at only like 23, 24, whilst Joe Joyce is 34, and he just has much more potential, being that he's faster, taller, longer reach, and arguably stronger than Joe Joyce. So overall, that is my top 10 heavyweight prospect list. Comment down below yours, or anything, like, comment, subscribe. And that's really it. I'm going to be boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.